Today we will be talking on body, mind, and soul eligibility for Kriya Yoga. One must understand that Kriya Yoga is the highest yoga. It is the flying way to reach the Almighty. One can reach Almighty in a million of ways, but Kriya Yoga is the flying way. One can realize God by mantra japa, by prayers, through love, any means which suits you. But Kriya Yoga is a unique way. All other ways are as if traveling by bullock cart or by the car or by cycle. You can imagine from Hyderabad to Delhi, if you want to go by walk or by bullock cart or by cycle, it will take months and months. But Kriya Yoga is as if going by the aeroplane. Within 2 hours you will be there. So it is such a highest yoga. There is no comparison. It is the flying way of reaching the God. When you know it's a flying way, it's the fastest speed, then to do the Kriya Yoga initiation, one must have lot of precautions. You must have prior preparation for it. Otherwise, it will create a lot of havoc in your life. Except Kriya Yoga, all the yogas are very safe and steady, but it takes a lot of time. Maybe few births. You never know it. The Kriya Yoga, if you are very sincere, this birth itself you can realize the God. You can become like a God, or in other words, you become God. One cannot understand the God, but one can merge in the God. You cannot understand the existence, but you can merge in the existence. You can take the nectar of the existence. So never try to understand the God. Try to merge in it, be one with it, dissolve yourself in God so that you become like Him. This must you keep in your mind that one can never understand God, but we can merge in it, we can become like God. So Kriya Yoga is a path to become like God in no time. It is the fastest yoga. It's the fastest Kriya. So there are a lot of risks also involved. Nobody talks about the risks, but you must be very, very careful. Even the very renowned organizations, those who initiate for Kriya Yoga, they take the exams of the students and then they can initiate. More than 70% of the aspirants who want to get initiated for Kriya Yoga, they are rejected. It is for safety for the aspirant. It is not just going to get a admission in engineering college or medical college. It is your total involvement with the self and with the unending your preparations and desires for it. Well, in the background, Kriya Yoga, firstly, it was given to the sun god, then to the Manu, and finally, Lord Krishna has written a few shloka on the Kriya Yoga. Mahavatar Babaji would deeply understand this Kriya, understand these shlokas and put in practice. Mahavatar Babaji, given the initiation to Lahiri Mahashaya for Kriya Yoga in his last birth, and again he met him on this birth, and they pursued the Kriya Yoga, and finally he instructed him to be household, do the Kriya Yoga, live with the family, do all your worldly works, but every day you must do Kriya Yoga. And that is what Lahiri Mahasaya has preached and given instructions to many, many devotees, and they were benefited. Yukteswarananda ji has Kriya Yoga from Lahiri Mahasaya. Yogananda from Yukteswara ji by the instruction of Mahavatar Babaji to prepare Yogananda for the Western world. What great divine prophets like Yukteswarananda, Lahiri Mahasaya, Mahavatar Babaji put a lot of their energies and efforts to prepare Yogananda to be the preachers of the Kriya Yoga, helped him to settle in the Western world, and he has revolutionized the Western world. Now thousands of people in the Western world are practicing Kriya Yoga. I have visited a lot of their ashrams in Western world, met a lot of Western people, those who are very deeply involved in Kriya Yoga. So, to start the Kriya Yoga, we must first prepare our body, our mind, our soul, and then we must know the various pitfalls on the path of Kriya Yoga. And when we are ready for all these, then the Kriya Yoga Diksha is given, and it becomes easy for the sadhaka, for the aspirant to follow this path. So let's talk about the body first. Our body is the temple. We must consider body is the divine temple. We must take care of the body very judicially by good food intake, not overeating and not less eating. Eating should be medium. Generally, people find it's easy to have fast and not eat, or to eat more. To follow the medium path is really difficult. So we must follow the medium path so that our body remains healthy. With good food, An is the God, Annam Brahma. We take the food as if the God is entering in us. Food is just not to purchase from the market, just go in the background. How much nature has put the efforts to make the grains, to make the vegetables, to make the fruits. How much efforts the nature has put. They are grown by the divine energy. Where the Mother Earth is involved and the sky, the divine energy is in. Without that, the food cannot grow. We must worship food before consume it. Each grass of the fruit we must chew to the maximum extent so that we feel the juice of the god, that is the nectar, before we take it inside. After the food goes inside, we don't know what happens. How it's get digested, how the blood is made out of the food. No scientist in the world could make blood out of the bread. And that blood, which is made from the food, this is the basis of our bones, our flesh, our mind, and it gives the fine energy to our consciousness also. So food is a very, very important part in how we consume it. We must earn the means, that is, our means should be proper to earn the food. Our livelihood must be very pure and authentic. By wrong means, we must not earn money. That earn money in a wrong way itself is a blood sucking, and it will not give any benefit to you. You must understand the whole existence is one unit. How you earn, how you consume, how you digest, how blood is made, it is a miracle. It's an unknown force which is governing everything. We cannot understand it. It is one of the finest miracle of the existence. So we become the part of it in such a way that we use the proper ways by all our efforts so that our living should be pure and authentic in all the. Next part is the exercise of the body. Exercise of the body is also very, very important. Exercise gives the energy to the cells. It manifests it. When it is well manifested, it can absorb the divine energy. Kriya Yoga gives immense energy to the system. If our body and cells are not healthy, this immense divine energy cannot be absorbed in our cells. And once this energy is absorbed in our cells, there are very rare chances that we will fall sick. You know, Yogananda, after he has left this world, his body was throwing the smell of the flowers for complete 1 month. His body was not decayed. It is in record of the Western world, and they could not understand what has happened, why it is so. It is so because Yogananda did Kriya Yoga every day, and he absorbed the divine energy in the form of aroma of the existence. And when he left the body, that aroma spread in the air itself, and body never got decayed. So Kriya Yoga, not in your existing life, but after your death, when you leave the body, you will have the same divinity even on your face. This is the miracle of the Kriya Yoga. So exercise is very important so that our cells becomes very strong. and they can absorb the energy. Exercise can be in a different forms. Physical exercise, pranayama, walking, whatsoever suits you, so that you will feel relaxed after the exercise and feel refreshed. So that even if you have to sit for a couple of hours, your body should not be tired. Kriya Yoga is not the yoga for the sick people. It's for the healthy body and healthy mind. You know, Yogananda was able to swim for hours together because of his body and the divinity which he has acquired through Kriya Yoga. Next comes the mind. Body and mind are very closely linked. If body is healthy, the mind will become healthy. If body is unhealthy, your mind cannot be healthy. Because body and mind both get energy from the breath. But what is breath? Nobody knows it. How we breathe, nobody knows it. We know we breathe only. We know how to regulate the breath. What it is the miracle of the divinity. Breath can give you health, it can give you happiness, and it can merge you with the divinity, with the God. The Kriya Yoga, through the breath, merges you with the divinity. So you can imagine every aspect is very closely linked. Breath is also a part of your human energy, an energy you get from the food you get from the existence. So you can imagine the breath is linked with the existence. Things are very closely linked with each other. So you must perceive very well because before you take the Kriya Yoga Diksha. Things must be very crystal clear to you that you will be entering in such a miraculous force of divinity that has no comparison with any force existing in the world. So don't take it light that you are just doing the Kriya Yoga as an exercise. No, it is the path to merge with the divine. So mind must be developed. Mind gets energy from the breath, and breath is the part of the existence. And you must know when you breathe, it is your shwasa in Sanskrit. It changes in the prana shakti in you as it enters the system. It becomes prana, becomes apana prana, samana prana, and vidana prana. Only udana prana we have to generate so that the spiritual energy is generated in us. But all the other pranas are automatically generated in the body. So breath is linked closely with the prana, and breath is linked with the Kriya Yoga. So you can imagine all these aspects are very closely knitted, but we don't know how they are knitted close. But the fact is very clear to us. Mentally, we must know all those things, but when you practice Kriya Yoga, by practice itself, it becomes your own experience. So presently, you must have a theoretical knowledge of all those things. For theoretical knowledge, you must not consider that you know it unless you practice it. Without practice, it is not your knowledge. It is bookish knowledge. In Shastra and Vedas, everything is written. But unless and until you digest it, put it in practice, it is the dead. When you put in practice, it becomes alive. So what I mean to say is, before entering to Kriya Yoga, you must know theoretically how the breath acts in you, how the prana they are made. Then how your mind works. There is a left mind and right mind. Right mind is a divine mind. Left mind is a worldly mind. How they interact theoretically you must know. So before getting Diksha of Kriya Yoga, or basic knowledge of science of the spiritual science, you must be very clear. Otherwise, you will be in doldrums that what's happening. If theoretically is clear to you, then you will feel that you are getting experience of everything and the path becomes easy. So mentally, you must know everything what is in the yoga. For that, you must attend satsanga, or some good books are available. You can read it, digest it, have a manan on that so that you can understand it. It will help you when you practice the Kriya Yoga. Then we enter the third part, soul. Soul is a divine energy within us. If we want to realize the God, we must have a burning desire to realize the God. It doesn't happen by the way that you can realize the God so easily. It is the most toughest part of the existence. It doesn't require your physical efforts. It requires your inbuilt tendencies, your thirst for the God, your love for the God. Then only you get benefited from the Kriya Yoga. Don't take Kriya Yoga as an exercise. It's not exercise. It gives you the nectar of the existence. By these words, you will realize when you practice it with the yoga. Otherwise, you will feel they are hollow words. They are not words basically. Except words, there is no other way of expression. One can understand by the emotions, one can understand by the gestures of the face, but by words, you have to read in between the words and understand it. For that, you must be well developed in many ways. So you must have a thirst for God. I will just give a small story so that it becomes easier for you to understand what is meaning of the thirst here. There was a famous saint, Saint Fakir. One young man came to him and said that he wants to realize God. He wants to meet the God. Fakir said, you want to meet him now or you can wait for some time? He said, I want to meet him now. He said, come along with me. I am going to the river for bath. I will take along with you can come along with me, and while taking bath, I will make you to realize the God. He said, okay. Fleet was 7 feet height, strong fakir. The young boy was 5 to 6 feet, very weak in build. They both jumped in the water. Moment they jumped, Farid came and sat on his shoulder. Young guy started shouting, "What are you doing? Are you how you are making me to realize God?" He tried his level best, but he could not do anything. When Farid felt that he is going to collapse, Farid jumped from his shoulder, and young guy then breathed normally. Then he asked, "When I was on your shoulder, would you think anything else except to have a one breath?" "No, I was abusing you and telling you that I must have one breath and you come out from my shoulders." So then he said, "If such a burning desire of God you have, as you were trying for one single breath to survive, unless and until you don't have that burning desire, you cannot beat the God. If you have that desire, then come on this path of God realization and yoga and Kriya Yoga and whatnot. Otherwise, if you come casually, you will not get anything, and what you have, you will lose that also. So thrust for the God should be must. Second thing is, for the liberation, you must prepare to leave even your body, even your all comforts. Then you will be able to merge in the God. There's a small story is there. A parrot was in the cage. He wanted to get liberated. He said to his master that you're going to meet such and such saint. Ask him how to get liberated from this existence, I mean this death and birth. Then master, when he was going to the saint, he asked the saint that how the liberation is possible. Saint just jumped in the water and disappeared. The master was surprised to see what happened to the saint. I just asked him a small question. That is what the parrot wants it. Then he went back home. He narrated the story to the parrot. Moment parrot listened the story, parrot became unconscious. He fell in the cage itself. Then cage door was opened by the master. At moment he has opened the door, cage flew, parrot flown from the cage and got liberated. Here the meaning of the story is, unless and until you would like even to leave your body for the liberation, for the God, you cannot get it. You must be totally detached from everything, even detached from your body. Then only you will know the importance of God and you can merge. Before coming to the second part, one last story I will tell so that the things will be crystal clear to you. One devotee wanted to merge in the God. Then master told him, you go to the end of this village and there you will find a well. If you are prepared to jump into that well, then you will know everything. After days of walking, he went near to the well. He saw it is an empty space, there is no well. It's a tunnel going to the deep in the earth. Say if I jump into there, I cannot come back. He ran back to the master. Master told him, unless and until you enter in the shunya, you will enter in the void. You leave these worldly comforts in all respects. And that is what the Kriya Yoga teaches you. Kriya Yoga makes you finally so that you become sannyasi in this life. I mean the mental sannyasi, not leaving the house and going to the jungle. You must have a complete detachment with everything. You enter into the shunya as if nothing is yours. If you are prepared to jump in that shunya, that's void, then you'll be able to receive the God. God. You can become one with God. So if you want to have the impact of Kriya Yoga, you must be prepared bodily, mentally, and your consciousness to be developed in such a high level. You are totally detached from everything and you want only God and nothing else. If you want only God, nothing else, then only you can merge in the God and can become, and then you are eligible for the Kriya. So next part I will tell you what are the pitfalls of the Kriya Yoga.